Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 35 of the Red Pilled Orange Pill Investor. And this is actually a snippet of the All in One podcast, but it was snipped into the Stephen Mark Ryan's Solving a Money Problem podcast. So I don't know, I got to give both of them credit or whatever the fuck. I used to watch the All in One podcast religiously, but and actually enjoyed it. But ever since a couple of these assholes basically admitted on air that they were involved in some crypto pump and dump, I stopped watching their shit. But anyway, this is related to Elon Musk getting fucked in his pay package, and the larger overarching point that I'm making about this is there's tons and tons and tons of powerful people and money that would like to see Tesla fail specifically, but Elon Musk fail. And let's just listen to this piece right here.
In Delaware is Joe Biden's state. He's the senator. There were articles describing how this judge was connected to a law firm that had helped Joe Biden get elected. And you just kind of wonder whether Biden's directive from the White House podium that we got to get this guy, or we got to look into this guy, that he's an enemy, which has been reflected through all of these different administrative agencies' sudden actions against Elon's companies for the glass house,
Starlink and the FCC.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of these issues. And you just wonder, is this another manifestation of that?
Well, David, I don't wonder. I know.
All right, so that's SMR's position. He's basically convinced that this judge is corrupt and the fix is in as far as Elon getting screwed over in Delaware. It'll be interesting to see if he appeals and wins the appeal, whatnot. The Tesla's price, didn't really even suffer too much from this. Maybe, okay, so the market either just doesn't care or only cares a little, or is confident that he'll win the appeal, or is confident they'll get him a new pay package and it still won't matter. But the only two assets I invest in that I'm long in is Tesla and Bitcoin derivatives. And the point that I really wanted to go over today is, so Tesla has done everything that it's done in spite of opposition. Like, Tesla's the leading EV manufacturer possibly in the world. I don't know, BYD is probably a close second, or maybe surpass them in Q4 this year to a certain extent, but they didn't even get invited to the White House, and Joe Biden is patting Barr on the back. And so if Tesla can perform this well with being in the crosshairs of the entire oil industry, Tesla's disrupting the oil industry, disrupting car manufacturers, car parts, energy with solar, unions. So there's just billions and trillions of dollars whose interests are seeing Tesla fail. And if they were going to fail, they'd have probably done it like way back here. I think existential threats to Tesla are not really even in my my valuation at this point. Even if they went so far as to take Elon Musk out, I think the DNA of the company at this point, it's probably enough Elon that it just won't matter for the next 10, 20 years. And in some ways, that would alleviate the pressure, because everybody who hates Elon would stop shorting or, working against him, and they may just not give a shit if Tesla succeeds once he's out of the picture. So while I think Elon is probably a net positive, I don't even think that him going away would be doom and gloom for the company. So Tesla, with, in the future, I just see them dominating EV, solar, humanoid robots, AI, full self-driving. Who knows what else? The autonomous taxi fleets. So, and all of that, what will the price do to Tesla? What will Tesla's price do when all of those forces against Tesla realize that they've lost, and they're no longer willing to try to short Tesla at 200 and then get ruined when it goes to 370? Because everybody's shorting Tesla when it goes, obviously if you're shorting it here and it goes to here, you win sometimes. But the people that were shorting it all through here got completely wrecked. And so when this happens again, at some point, people's backs are going to break when they realize they cannot take out Tesla. And once everyone finally just gives up and says, okay, Tesla, you win, oil burning cars are fucked, and what will this graph look like when no one is shorting Tesla anymore? Every once in a while, some people just can't help themselves. But anyway, that's why I'm actually kind of disappointed with Tesla's premium lately. I mean, 1% at like 2% call-away value, 1% premium, kind of boring. I mean, it shouldn't be. I think I'm just being greedy as hell, because even at 1%, actually I don't even calculate that, but just 1% a week is still 52% for the year, and that's a Tesla trade sideways. And generally, what Tesla's volatile enough that it doesn't just trade sideways. So let's just look at a year. So this is actually almost exactly even from a year ago. It's only up 1%. That's hilarious. So it crashed. Actually, this was up from the crash. Let's go 5 years. This was the bottom, right? January 6, 2023. Okay, so that's why it's not in my 1 year graph, because it was over a year ago. But this is what Tesla does. So this is not even necessarily the best case for selling covered calls, because when you sell a covered call here and then a week later it's here, I mean, that's up 10, 15%. You're probably not going to capture most of that. But when you sell a covered call here and it just drops over the next month or so, you're capturing all of the premium here. So Tesla will frustrate you at times, because it will commonly exceed your strike, and you'll end up having to buy it back for more than you sold it for. However, I simply cannot get over selling covered calls against any position, because it lowers your cost basis and in my opinion increases your chance of success. So that's always not financial advice, but I think selling covered calls against long shares is always the way to go for me. Now, you don't have to carry an even number of shares. So my upside for these 200 shares cannot go above 190 in one case and 192.50 in the other. But you can carry 210 shares, and then 200 shares have limited upside and 10 shares have unlimited upside. So you can adjust your number of shares and number of covered calls that you're going to sell to whatever, how much do you want to lower your cost basis versus how much unlimited upside do you want. I'm sure there's going to be several announcements that pump the stock once they get FSD approved or, all of that crap. The stock's in a pump. But, yeah, my main reason for talking about this today is Tesla has done what it's done in spite of very powerful and very rich industries, it being in their best interest for Tesla to fail, and Tesla's still winning. So once Tesla has convinced everyone that they've won, where will this price be? So that's why I own Tesla, and I'll continue to own it. I mean, unless the premium just, if I couldn't get 1%, a combined 3% between call away value and premium, that would be what I would have to consider just not trading Tesla. But even then, I would have to carry a few shares. I don't think I would ever. I'm not sure what kind of terrible bad news I would have to hear for me to reverse my position on Tesla. I need to think about that. All right, I think that's good enough for now. We good to go.